Welcome to RAAONLINE. I'm Dr. Rajapriya, Professor of Anatomy. Today we are going to deal about larynx. At the end of this session, the learners must be able to describe the morphology, identify the structure of the wall, nerve supply, blood supply and actions of intrinsic and extrinsic muscles of the larynx. And they must be able to describe the anatomical aspects of laryngitis, and they must be able to describe the anatomical basis of recurrent laryngeal nerve palsy. Coming to the location and extent of larynx. In this picture you can see larynx is located in the front of the neck. It is located in front of the neck, and the extent of the larynx is just below. It lies just below the hyoid bone and extends downwards up to the trachea. The vertebral levels corresponds to C3 to C6 vertebra. So larynx extends from C3 to C6 vertebra. You can see the epiglottis here and the cricoid cartilage here, which below continues as trachea. So the extent of larynx is from C3 to C6 vertebra. And this picture shows the anterior aspect of larynx, and this is the hyoid bone, and the rest of the structure is called as larynx. Below the cricoid cartilage, the larynx continues as trachea. And this picture shows the posterior view of the larynx, where you can able to visualize the posterior aspect of larynx. This is the epiglottis and the thyroid cartilage and the arytenoid cartilage, and I'll tell you what these cartilages are. And this is a cricoid cartilage, and then it continues downwards as trachea. And this picture shows the sagittal section, medial view of the sagittal section of larynx, and we will know what are the parts which are present here. This is called as epiglottis, and this is the hyoid bone, and this is the thyroid cartilage, and this is called as cricoid cartilage, and it continues as trachea. Okay. Coming to laryngeal skeleton. Our larynx or the voice box is made up of a framework of cartilages, a framework of skeleton of firm cartilages. And what are those cartilages? There are around 6 cartilages, out of which 3 are paired and 3 are unpaired cartilages. What are the paired cartilages? Paired cartilages are arytenoid cartilage, corniculate cartilage and cuneiform cartilage. The unpaired cartilages are epiglottis, thyroid cartilage and the cricoid cartilage. Now I'll show you these cartilages in this picture. And here you can see larynx lies in the anterior aspect of the neck. Coming to the epiglottis. In the anterior view, this is the epiglottis, and in the posterior view, this is the epiglottis, and in the lateral view, this structure is called as epiglottis. What is epiglottis? This epiglottis is nothing but a cartilage of larynx which lies just overhangs above the tongue, and it is an unpaired cartilage of larynx. Then coming to the hyoid bone. Hyoid bone does not belong to the larynx, just it is present in front of the neck. Then just below the hyoid bone, there is one more cartilage called as thyroid cartilage. Thyroid cartilage is an unpaired cartilage which is seen in front of the larynx. And this is the posterior aspect of the larynx, where we can able to visualize the posterior aspect of the thyroid cartilage. In the lateral view or the medial view of sagittal section, you can see the cut section of the thyroid cartilage here. Okay, and now coming to the cricoid cartilage. This cricoid cartilage lies below the thyroid cartilage, and this is also an unpaired cartilage. The posterior aspect of the cricoid cartilage is visualized here. This is the posterior aspect of the thyroid cartilage, and this is the anterior aspect of cricoid cartilage. This is the anterior aspect of cricoid cartilage, and this is the posterior aspect of cricoid cartilage. Coming to the lateral view, medial view of the sagittal section. When a sagittal section is being done, we can able to see the cricoid cartilage here. See, the posterior aspect is little higher when compared to the anterior aspect. So this is the cricoid cartilages. So 1 epiglottis, 2 thyroid and 3 cricoid cartilage. These are all unpaired cartilages of larynx. Coming to paired cartilages of larynx. Where are the paired cartilages? See, this is the arytenoid cartilage. which is visualized on the posterior aspect of the larynx. This is the arytenoid cartilage. Just above the arytenoid cartilage, there is one more cartilage called as carniculate cartilage, and just above the carniculate cartilage, there is one more cartilage called as cuneiform cartilage. You can see they are all paired. Both it is present on the right side and left side. This is the arytenoid cartilage, this is the carniculate cartilage, and this is the cuneiform cartilages. So they are all paired cartilages of the larynx. Coming to the anterior view and the lateral view of each and individual cartilages. First, we can see the epiglottis here. See what is the shape of epiglottis? The epiglottis appears to be a leaf-shaped cartilage. Then, coming to the laryngeal or the thyroid cartilage. This thyroid cartilage is made up of two lamina. See, this is the lamina of thyroid cartilage, and this lamina has an anterior border and a posterior border. Along the posterior border, there is a projection upwards called as superior cornu, and there is a projection downwards called as inferior cornu of thyroid cartilage. And along the external surface of the thyroid, lamina of the thyroid cartilage, there is a oblique line of thyroid cartilage which will give origin to many muscles of the thyroid cartilage. When these two laminas unites together, at the upper border, it will form a notch called as superior thyroid notch. And two laminae will join together and it will produce a prominence along the anterior aspect of the thyroid cartilage, which is called as laryngeal prominence, which is very prominent in case of males, and it is called as Adam's apple. It is under the influence of testosterone. Next, coming to the cricoid cartilage. Cricoid cartilage is like the signet ring. It is like the shape of a ring which has a sign in front. It has an anterior arch which is narrow and a posterior broad lamina. And it is a complete cartilage. It encircles the larynx completely. Okay. Then coming to the arytenoid cartilage. Arytenoid cartilage is pyramidal in shape. It has an apex and it has a base. And this towards the base, there are two processes. One is called as the ocal process. This process is called as ocal process, and this process is called as muscular process. So these are the processes of arytenoid cartilage. Coming to the cuneiform cartilage and the carniculate cartilage, which are very small size shaped cartilage which is present along the apex of arytenoid cartilage and along the glossoarytenoid, that is epiglottico. Epiglottis, arytenoid, array epiglottic fold, there will be cuneiform cartilage. And these are about the features of the thyroid cartilage, cricoid cartilage, epiglottis, arytenoid cartilage, carniculate cartilage, and cuneiform cartilage. Here you can see the cricoid cartilage, lateral view of cricoid cartilage. There is a facet in the lateral view of cricoid cartilage. Again, there is another facet here in the cricoid cartilage. What are these facets for? This facet is called as thyroid articular facet. As the name indicates, there the thyroid cartilage will come and articulate and it will form a joint called as cricothyroid joint. And here the arytenoid cartilage will articulate, forming a joint called as cricoarytenoid joints. These joints are synovial joints, which means that mobility occurs here. These joints are highly mobile and they are all synovial joints.